In this bulletin, vaccination drive continues to draw crowds. USP Council meeting today. And cash cultivation launched. Good afternoon. 3 more positive COVID-19 cases were identified around 6 last night, raising yesterday's daily total to 8. The first 2 cases are from Nandawa and 7 Miles Nasinu, and a primary contact of case 211 from Tavirua. The third case is from Samambula and is also a primary contact of an earlier case. 5 new cases of COVID-19 were identified earlier yesterday afternoon, including 1 person who is from a catering company and 4 from Wanikoso, Nasinu. The 4 cases in Wanikoso are from 2 separate households. They were all located within the Wanikoso containment zone and were picked up as part of the mass screening within the area. 1 patient has recovered, which means there are 99 active cases in isolation. Fiji has had 238 cases in total, with 135 recoveries and 4 deaths since our first case was reported on March 19, 2020. A total of 90,325 COVID-19 laboratory tests have been conducted since testing started earlier 2020. People living in the Nausori area turned out in numbers to get vaccinated as Fiji fights to contain its second wave of the COVID-19 virus. With assistance from the Fiji Police Force and officers from the Republic of Fiji Military Forces, the team from the Ministry of Health carried out their duties with ease in rolling out the vaccine. Vaccination drives were also carried out in Wailea settlement, which is located between Raiwanga and Vatuanga. Teams from the Ministry of Health, RFMF, and police work to reach people with safety measures in place. The Health Ministry will continue conducting the COVID-19 vaccination first dose campaign in communities within the Suva to Nausori containment zones. The University of the South Pacific Council has convened a meeting today to discuss pending matters. FBC News has been reliably informed that part of the agenda that will be discussed today is the proposal to dismiss Pro-Chancellor Winston Thompson and Chair of the Audit and Risk Committee Mahmood Khan. Winston and Khan are alleged to have breached the USP Council Code of Conduct. The two were singled out by the USP Council for alleged insubordination for their attempts to have former Vice-Chancellor Professor Paul Aluwalia investigated by an independent team. The USP Council will also discuss whether former Vice-Chancellor Professor Paul Aluwalia will be given another contract to operate from another country. Since the University of the South Pacific's last council meeting, there have been calls for and against former Vice-Chancellor Professor Paul Aluwalia as tensions between member countries on the issue continues to brew. The Australia government's support in the fight against COVID-19 in Fiji continues, with close to $20 million invested in these vaccines. Australian High Commissioner to Fiji, John Fick, says with a portion of 1 million vaccines arriving in Fiji, the remaining vaccines will be sent across in the coming months. He says these vaccines will be arriving in batches.
We will be able to vaccinate all of the eligible Fijians. We've committed 1 million vaccines. Prime Minister Morrison spoke to Prime Minister Bainimarama on the 12th of May and committed that Australia would provide 1 million vaccines.
Fiji's agricultural production and supply hasn't been without any obstacles, with 2 back-to-back cyclones making landfall in Fiji earlier this year. However, the agricultural exports have been steadily increasing over the last 5 years. Minister for Agriculture, Dr. Mahendra Reddy, says the devastating impact of the recent cyclones scaled up the demand for immediate recovery and rehabilitation in Fiji's agricultural sector.
We have been affected by COVID-19, and also we have been affected by several natural disasters, and we are quite resilient to natural disasters, particularly cyclones and flood, because it's not something new that we have faced.
The Fiji National University Student Association Council has slammed reports that were published in the Fiji Times. The student body says the story titled NFP Wants Explanation, published yesterday, which claimed that 180 students at the FNU Natambua campus had not received food, was false. FNUSA President Keaton Lal says that all 180 students had been provided with free meals and food ration packs, including snacks. Meanwhile, NFP leader Professor Biman Prasad says that his information in the Fiji Times article is based on the accounts of Friends Fiji CEO Sashi Kiran.
Even more disheartening to see the welfare of the students are being used as a political tool. I mean, I understand people are trying to help, but I mean, there are protocols, there are process to follow, no?
Welcome back. Humility is a virtue that Devita Nangali has always practiced throughout his rugby career.
For inspiration, I draw inspiration from home, from my mom and dad, just learning the values of hard work, of being humble, keeping your head down and just letting your success tell the story on and off the field, to always trying to help your fellow teammate.
Fijian-born winger Semisi Masirewa has been named in Japan's squad that will face the British and Irish Lions in Edinburgh next month. The final decision on which of the 8 swimmers will be awarded the 2 Olympic quota spot is still yet to be made. Fiji swimming officials have been closely deliberating and were expected to submit the names to its governing body, FINA, yesterday. Swimmers that are vying for a spot include Moana Wind, Taichi Vakasama, Cheyenne Rover and Netani Ross. Fiji Swimming President Ben Rover says plans are already in place to have these swimmers train in Australia as they await the Olympic Games in July.
We hope by next month, by June, because really they don't have much more time. Team Fiji is planning to travel out of here around about the 8th, I think it is, of July. So when you consider the arrangement that needs to be done from here and the quarantine again in Australia, really there's really not much time for the 2 swimmers.
The last few days has provided a major confidence boost for one of New Zealand rugby's 7 superstars. Portia Woodman has returned to the international arena, and it's getting exciting for the superb athlete. A high-pressure system to the far southwest of Fiji is expected to generate and direct heavy to damaging southerly swells over the southern waters and coastal areas of the country. That's FBC News Now. Join us for our 1-hour major bulletin at 7 p.m. And be sure to download the FBC app to access the latest in news, sports, and live radio broadcasts from any of our 6 FBC radio stations. Stay safe and good afternoon.